So the old saying goes, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. What do you do if the elephant is huge? What do you do if the elephant is ginormous? What do you do if you ate this huge appetizer before you have to try to eat this elephant? What if your plate's already full? How are you going to put each piece of this elephant on your plate? So on Monday, I had a really rough day, okay? Really rough. I got home from work. We had no electricity at my house. I still don't know why we had no electricity, but we had no electricity at our house. My kids were running wild. I had started a red bean dinner in the crock pot and we had no electricity, so I had to finish it on the stove. I had to cook rice on the stove, which is not something that I normally do. I had a list of household chores that I wanted to get done, about 4 or 5. Couldn't do any of those because I needed electricity for all of those. I couldn't do any schoolwork. I mean, I literally got home and just sat in the dark until 7 p.m. And it drove me crazy. The lights came back on shortly after dinner was ready. And so we ate our dinner. And after we ate, my kitchen looked like this. I really want to be as authentic on this channel as possible. And so it's a little bit embarrassing to share, but my kitchen looked like this. Now, typically my kitchen wouldn't look like this because I try to set myself up so that when dinner is finished, all we have to do is throw the dishes in to the dishwasher, start the dishwasher, and I might have a couple pots to clean. But remember, I had started dinner in the crock pot and had to finish it in the pot. So I had pots, I had dishes that, hadn't been loaded because my afternoon was crazy. And you know what? That's life. Life is imperfect. Life throws us curveballs all the time. So what do you do when you find yourself after dinner, after a rough day, and you look around your house and you are completely overwhelmed? What do you do? I have 3 tips that I'm going to share with you today that I do whenever I'm feeling completely overwhelmed. Tip number 1, the first thing I want you to do is stop and take a breath. Breathe. Then I want you to think of 3 things that you have accomplished up until that point. It could be during that day, it could be the day before, depending on when your rough moment is happening. You might feel really overwhelmed in the morning, but think of 3 things that you have accomplished. If you can, write them down, because when you write those things down, they get to be even more powerful. These 3 things are going to be your motivation, and they're going to be your reminder that you are capable. You can do this. It doesn't matter how overwhelmed you feel. It doesn't matter how much has to get done. You can do it. And by looking at things that you've already accomplished, it is a good reminder to help you achieve whatever difficult task is in front of you. Or the second thing I want you to do is to make a short list. And I emphasize the word short because it is important that you do not make a long list. You are already feeling overwhelmed. If you're like me, if I make a list of 10 things that needs to get done, it's going to be overwhelming. You don't want to make a long list, a short list. But I would say between 3 and 5 things, depending on how long those tasks are. Make a short list of things that you need to get done in the moment. So for me, I made a short list of things that I wanted to clean up in the kitchen and in my living space. And when I say short list, I also want you to prioritize. So don't aim for perfection here. What I want you to aim for is, what are the 3 to 5 things that I can do right now that's going to change this overwhelming feeling to a feeling of accomplishment. Okay? If I do these 3 to 5 things, even if whatever I do is not perfect, even if I still have more to do, what are the biggest 3 to 5 things that are going to change my mindset in this moment? That's what I want you to write on that list. Okay? I want you to write it down, and as you go through and check off each task, I want you to highlight it or cross it out so that you can feel that feeling of accomplishment as you're getting these things done. It helps a lot if you can see yourself accomplishing things as you go along. If you take it one step further, tackle the smallest thing first. Because if you tackle the smallest thing first, it's going to give you that sense of accomplishment, and it's going to help to motivate you just a little bit more to do the next thing. Step number 3, what I want you to do is to put your music on and tackle it. And I say music, maybe you like listening to podcasts, maybe it's an audiobook, but put your earbuds in and focus on what's in front of you, and that's what I want you to work on, okay? Listen to whatever motivates you, block out whatever you can in your environment, and go for it. And when I say block things out, I mean, as I'm cleaning my kitchen, my husband came in, you know, he was helping a little bit. What you don't see on the camera is him, you know, working on trying to get my son to bed. And my daughter dropped a puzzle in the dishwasher, and it was a big old mess. Anyway, but you know, you're gonna have things that come up. Like, I put my earbuds in, but my kids are still running around. My daughter's still asking me for a cup of milk. Like, there still are distractions, but when you put your music in, it helps to keep you focused. I know for me, at least, music is a really great tool for me to keep me focused. So whatever that tool is for you, whether it's music, whether it's, you know, like I said, an audiobook or a podcast, something that you can listen to keep your focus. I would also say something to watch, but you just have to be careful, because sometimes if you're watching, at least for me, I'm speaking from experience, if I'm watching something, a lot of times I tend to procrastinate the task that I'm trying to complete. So if you're watching like a cleaning therapy video on YouTube, that might help. But if you're like trying to watch the new episode of your favorite series, you're probably going to get pretty distracted and not get done what you want to get done. So make sure whatever you choose to put on is a motivator and not a hindrance for what you're trying to get done. So after I listed my 3 accomplishments that I had today, I listed 4 things that I needed to get done. I knew I wanted to unload and load the dishwasher, which I'm very blessed because my mother-in-law had already unloaded the dishwasher. I didn't know that when I made this list, so that was great. I wanted to pick up the leftovers from dinner. I wanted to clean the sink, and when I say clean the sink, I mean clean the sink of all the dirty dishes. I have a sensory issue with my hands, so I don't like if I've been it's really weird, you know, fun fact about me, but when I wash dishes, I don't like the way my hands feel, and so to put like my wet hands on a dry thing, like it's just a weird sensory thing. So I always let my dishes dry on their own, and then I put them away. So you're gonna see me like leave dishes in the sink, but they're all clean. And the 4th thing I wanted to get done was to pick up the toys. Now, my favorite hack for picking up toys is my kids each have their own bin with their names on it. I just didn't put the names to the camera to, you know, keep their identity safe. And my daughter, who is a little bit older, is really good at this. We go through the living room, things that go in my daughter's room, we put in one bin, things that go to my son's room, we put in another bin. And then we have a play area in our living room that keeps certain toys. And then the bins go to their bedrooms. Now, granted, their bedrooms are not spotless, okay? We're not aiming for perfection here. We're just aiming for what is going to make us feel less overwhelmed in this moment. And for me, getting the toys up off my living room floor makes me feel less overwhelmed, because when I get up the next morning, I can get up to a much cleaner space. So I don't care if the toys get put away at that moment at 8 o'clock at night. What I do care about is that they're up off my living room floor. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found these 3 tips, 3 things that you can do to feel less overwhelmed a little bit helpful. If you have any other tips that you like to do in order to help yourself feel less overwhelmed, please go ahead and put that down in the comment box below. I would love to hear your tips and tricks on what kinds of things you like to do when you feel overwhelmed. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.